Hey everybody, so it's time for grip change, and I thought I would record the process because I had a lot of questions about how I did my grip, and I'm going to do something different this time. I'm actually going to try to make my version of dope grip. So I've got some neoprene here. I'm trying to flatten it out a little bit, but I'll post a link in the description so that you guys can get the same stuff. So this is 54 inches long. The Metroboard deck is 27 inches. So I've already measured this out. So this is exactly enough to do the top side, and I think I want to do the underside as well, because the old neoprene that I had, that I had also recommended in some of my previous videos, that doesn't fit anymore now that I've got the new Mesk 6 installed. It's a little bit taller than the old Mesks. There were 2 units, so now there's like 1 unit. It's a little bit fatter. So I want to try to pad the underside of the lid. So I think I've got enough here to cut it in half and do the top side and the underside. It might be a little thick. This is a 1/4 inch thickness. So hopefully it's not too squishy. I mean, I stood on it earlier. I'll stand on it now. I mean, it feels pretty good. The next part of the process is I'm going to cut my grip tape to the length that I need, because I don't need the extra bit flopping around. Okay, so I've got my image that I want to be on the center of my grip as a cutout. So the question is, how do I get this image onto the grip? So the process that I use is with Frisket. Frisket is a really thin, transparent film that people use in airbrush a lot. I'm not sure if it's used for anything else. Okay, so what I've got here is a little swatch of Frisket. With the Frisket side, I'm drawing on the back here, because what I want is the reverse image of the X for transfer over to my grip. So just make sure that you're going to draw on that. So I've just got the corners taped down. I'm going to use my straight edge, and I'm just going to use my ballpoint pen to trace out the shape, and then I'll cut it out, and then that'll let me transfer the Frisket with the stencil shape cut out over to my grip, and then I'll draw the shape out and then not cut that out. So I'll show you that whole process. All right, so there you have it. There's my X drawn out. Now I'm going to cut it out with an X-Acto blade. Where's my X-Acto blade? Found it. Okay, so now I've got my reverse X, which I'm going to stick nice and center on my grip. Okay, so I laid my Frisket down, and then I kind of rough sketched along the edge with my ballpoint, because here's the cool thing: when you pull the Frisket off, it's going to take a little bit of the paper off here. I gotta be careful. This is a nice clean line there along the edge of the Frisket. So then all I got to do is cut along that with my razor blade. Okay, now I've gone through with my box cutter, and see if I can do this with one hand. There we go. And there's my X. So for the underlay, I'm going to use the same vinyl wrap that I use for my motors. I don't know if you can see this. I don't have a lot of this stuff left. I'm hoping, yeah, should have enough. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut probably a circle. I like doing circles because if you do a square, it leaves kind of a hard edge that you can see, but if you do a circle, it's much less noticeable. So then I got to get out my compass. Where's my compass? Nerd. Okay, so I got my grip tape. Ooh, see if you can see that. So I got my grip tape on top of my neoprene. I'm about to slide under and line up my vinyl. So I'll show you what that looks like when it's all done. Okay, so my X is in place. The next part is to peel back the backing on the grip and apply the grip to the neoprene. See how that works. And there it is. So there's a little warp in there just because the backing here, but yeah, went down pretty good actually. You can peel back the grip a little bit if you kind of screw up or whatever. It's really a bit easier to work with than directly on the lid, so I thought that was kind of worth noting. All right, so next step is to take the old grip off. Where's my skateboard? All right, here's that gorgeous carbon fiber deck that we're about to cover up. All cleaned up with some alcohol. Got all the old residue off from the old grip tape. Ready to go. All right, so I got my grip on there. Next thing to do is trim it. And I'm going to use a razor blade for that. I don't think I'm going to be able to show you how I do this, but basically I'm going to come at it from the underside. I'm going to poke through, and then I'm just going to use the edge of the lid to guide my blade, and should make a nice clean cut, hopefully. And if it doesn't, I have one more trick up my sleeve, so we'll see. Okay, so one of the issues that I'm having, that I kind of thought I would have actually, is this kind of frayed neoprene along where I was cutting it. But I'm just going to take some sandpaper, and that'll just sand right down. And we're done. So yeah, I did sand that down, sanded down really nice and smooth. So yeah, that worked. That'll work. All right, so the next thing to do is to see if my neoprene is gonna fit on the underside of the lid here, because I want to add some sound dampening inside. Okay, so I got my underside padding down. It should work, and I've just been poking holes with a screwdriver so I can get all the way through there. So that's the last bit before I button it up. And there it is, all buttoned up. Whew. Oh man, that feels nice. Ha! All right, let's see how that works.